Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Club Moffat Talks. I don't know if I should pre-sell it that way, like pre-sell that it's going to be exciting. I don't know that. We don't know what's going to happen. I can't
I
tell the
think it's going to be
future.
pretty exciting.
I'm Joseph McNeely. I'm the instruction librarian here at Moffat Library, and today we're joined by Ryan and Sam. Ryan, let everyone know who you are.
I might be getting a title change
Oh,
because
really?
I pointed out the fact that nobody knows what an associate university librarian is, and I said I'm getting weird emails from outside of campus because it's not the nomenclature of the industry of librarians. So I may go back to being what used to be my position, which is the assistant director, which is very understandable and makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. We're
Okay.
open.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good, reasonable change. So that probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, and we'll see.
We'll see.
And
And Sam, tell everybody your name and what is your official title designation here?
well, my name is Sam, and my official title is Digital Services and Content Specialist.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk in a little bit about what that is and what it means and other important, exciting things in the world. But first, let's gradually ease into this with a little conversation about what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're playing. Who would like to go first?
Oh, I'll
Oh, I
go
already
because I
set this
usually
up.
go.
Huh?
I usually go
You
first, so
do.
I'll go
Go
again
ahead.
first. Second season of Daredevil's out there. Starting to watch it. Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that Kevin Feige has brought back the Netflix universe because I think it was the best of the non-official Kevin Feige universe of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think they're gonna bring back stuff like Hellstrom, but I think I like the fact they brought back Daredevil. It looks like they're gonna be incorporating some of the other Netflix universe Marvel stuff as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching that also.
I
Um,
am still holding out for Hellstrom though. No, I'm kidding.
some of those less popular.
You liked Runaways. You liked
I did.
Cloak and Dagger.
I
You
did.
ever watch any of the Hellstrom stuff? Yeah,
I
I bet
did. I
you
watched all of
did. Okay.
Hellstrom. I did. I
Okay.
watched all of Legion.
I liked Legion a lot. Anyway.
Legion was
I have no
brilliant.
idea what we're talking about.
This is other Marvel Comics TV shows outside of the ones that were on Netflix,
Mm,
which would include things like Agents of Shield also. But
hmm
Even The Gifted. So
yes, Gifted too. Gifted was also good. The only one that I really, really, really did not like was Inhumans.
yeah. Well, no one liked that one.
No, well, it was really poorly
And I
done.
think that one was an official Kevin Feige one, if I remember right.
It it could have been. I don't know. I don't know that. Okay.
Old people talking about television shows that were around a decade ago is what we're talking about.
Um, other than Daredevil, do you have anything else happening in your life?
No, not really.
Okay.
I recently finished speaking of second seasons, I recently finished the second season of the One Piece live action.
Hmm.
Um, I've never seen the anime. Well, that's not true. My friends would play the anime and I would watch like a little bit, but I would have no idea what's going on. So when I saw that there was a live action, I was like, "Oh, okay, great. It's gonna be simplified. It's gonna have less filler, and it's not gonna have the weird way that they draw women in the anime." Um,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, and I've been hankering for more TV since I am waiting for, speaking of second seasons, once again, waiting for the second season of Heated Rivalry.
Hmm.
Had to bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, you said something about it earlier. I have not watched any of that show, but mostly it's because I don't care about hockey.
It is not as related. It doesn't have as much hockey as you think.
Okay. Okay.
It has more of something else.
All
It's
right.
more like Ted Lasso, which really isn't about football.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's not about that.
to be fair, I also haven't watched Ted Lasso, and I've had several people tell me that I probably should watch
You
it, but
you should watch it. You would
I
really, really like it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's more of a romance first and foremost.
Mhm.
I was able to convince Dan to actually like order the book series.
Oh,
So we're gonna be getting the book series here in a bit.
cool. All right. Maybe I'll check out the book series.
The books are more about hockey.
Maybe I won't check out the books.
Yeah, I would probably watch the show. It's a little bit more condensed and also less about hockey.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a Monster.
I see that.
Now
I
that's
have
a good anime and manga.
yeah. Um, I was wondering about the live action One Piece. I've watched it also, and I've been enjoyed it. The thing that I wonder about it is a little weird because I've noticed that not everyone, but a lot of the cast is attractive, and I wonder if the live action One Piece is going to be like the new cast of Mummy thing,
Hmm.
where people go, "Hey, have you noticed that everyone in that is attractive?" thing, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah,
That's
no,
just called Hollywood.
yeah, they're not
Well,
bad looking. I would say, other than the character that plays the actress that plays Nami, she is very gorgeous.
yeah.
I would say the rest of the cast are a little bit more average, not average as in like average attractiveness, but more everyday people, I would say. And Zoro. Zoro is also drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and then of course you've got that whole personal aesthetics thing because everybody has a different vibe. But
yeah.
yeah.
There is still just as much as fan service in the live action as there is in the anime. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
Um,
I,
actually,
See,
that's
I
not true.
I've never looked at One Piece
Not
whatsoever
as
because
much.
a former host that was on the show said that if I was going to do it, I had to read all the manga first, and that intimidates me.
yeah, no, that is not necessary. One thing that I will say about the manga, though, I have read only the first big omnibus of it, which is like 2 or 3 volumes or something. I have read that, and it had a lot more heart in it than I was expecting it to have. My kids were big fans of the cartoon, the anime, and I was not. I don't like the animation style. I don't like the dragging storyline and the 27 episode long one fight scene. I hate all that stuff. But by comparison, the manga is way, way, way better. Yeah. But I wouldn't force yourself to read 30 years of manga. No, don't do it.
I feel like I'd have to, though.
I
No.
would say, well, because
I will point out that almost every anime series is based off of a manga series. I have actually read the manga for it as well.
Yeah.
that's not true. Not every single one. Yuri
I
on
know not
Ice.
everyone does, but I'm saying the ones that do, I usually try to read the manga series if it's based off a manga series.
Yeah, speaking of anime and queer romances, Yuri on Ice was not based off of a manga. It was entirely animated whole cloth.
Okay.
That's kind of unusual. A lot of days they're based off of a novel series more so than anything else a lot of
Or
times.
yeah, either visual novels, mangas, or just regular typical novels as well. I've seen recently there been has been a really large surge of webtoons, Korean webtoons.
Mm.
Um, those have been really popular.
They're probably
Another
sort of something like One Punch Man. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Korean.
I know, but I'm just saying the idea of basing it off of a web cartoon. I mean, a web series.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mob Psycho 100 was also a web comic.
Okay.
Um, but there have been I don't know, I see it all the time, Korean webtoons. They're called manhwas.
Okay.
Mm,
Um, I see a lot of it. There are there's one that's going on right now that I have been reading and I've kind of been hate reading it a little bit. It's called Jinx.
mm,
Um, also like also graphic. I'm just gonna say graphic. But I have been hate reading it because the romantic interest in that is so despicable and just a horrible person. And I can't help but keep on reading because we're getting to the point where he feels guilty about his actions.
mm,
Mm.
So now we're getting the comeuppance.
yeah,
That's the only
See, I've
reason
read
why I'm
stuff like
still
Ichi the
reading.
Killer and
mm,
the Drifting Classroom, which are incredibly violent and degrading and incredibly depressing. So
mm,
Yeah.
I'm used to that.
It's not that depressing. It's just I hate the guy. I just hate
Mm.
the guy in particular.
yeah,
But it's not like the worst that I've seen. Killing stalking, I would say, is more insufferable.
mm, okay.
Killing stalking is one about a killer and a stalker and their romantic rendezvous.
Ah,
Yeah, not I didn't read that much of it. I honestly read it only a little bit a couple of years ago and I couldn't really tolerate it.
Mm,
Just a little too much for me.
yeah. I I don't read much webtoons. The last one that I was reading some and then stopped just because life interfered. I was reading the was Lore Olympus. Is
Lore
that
Olympus?
yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's
don't
like
know that one.
it's a Persephone and Hades romance in the
That one's
modern world.
controversial.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
only ones I pay attention to are Kill 6 Billion Demons and Marble Gate.
mm,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah, I pay a lot of attention to queer media. Um, it's just something that I like supporting. And as a queer person myself, it is the kind of
Mm,
romance that I appreciate.
mm,
Um, it's a little bit more relatable, I
yeah.
would say.
Well, I mean, it's important to be able to find media that you feel represented in. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's one of the important things about having so many different types of things,
Hmm.
sitting on our shelf or in our electronic holdings, so that there's theoretically something for everyone.
Hmm.
Yeah. I have I'm caught up with the Daredevil episodes and finished the second season of One Piece. And I've been doing a little bit more reading. I've read the two books from T.J. Klune that in a series. It's The House on the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. And they're both very good. Um, my daughter, I think, really liked the second one better. And I told her that I liked the first one better because the second one is more realistic. And I didn't like that. Well, because the in the first one, like the bad guy, the enemy, is really um, like a lack of compassion, a lack of empathy is the enemy in the first one, and it is overcome through getting to know people and communicating and understanding, you know. And I was like, that's beautiful, beautiful story. The second one, the enemy is the racist, classist system. And that was much harder to deal with because it seemed familiar. So that I was not as fond of that. The
I
book
mentioned this before, the fact that you are really drawn to
I'm,
the more fairy tale end of fantasy than the Game of Thrones, for example,
yeah, that is fair. I
spectrum. I don't. I'm not judging you. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, and it is perfectly valid. I think it's been undermined for so many years because people are there have been so many writers out there like George R. R. Martin and like Michael Moorcock and the stuff who basically look down upon the the more fantastical metaphorical fantasy.
uh no, it's a fair observation. The book that I'm reading right now is in no way a new book. I think the book's like 50 years old, and it's one I've seen on shelves a lot and kept thinking, I wonder if I should read that. And I came across it at a like a thrift store or garage sale kind of thing where I could get it for, 50 cents. And I was like, okay, I will get it and read it now. And it's the Lord Foulsbane by
Yeah,
Stephen Donaldson, Thomas Covenant series. First
I've
book
got
in
the
that
first two
series.
series if you want to borrow them sometime.
Okay. Well, I'm reading this first one, so we'll see how it
Okay, I
goes.
will let you know the first time I did read the book, I got to a certain chapter. You probably read it already because it's very close to the beginning of it. And I picked up the book and threw it across the room and
Mm,
slammed it into the wall and had it sit there for a month before I picked the book up again.
mm.
So
Well,
I'll
I
just say it
haven't
gets better.
I haven't had that reaction to it yet. So
Okay.
we'll see. Um, I think that we're going to go see the movie at the theater, the Project Hail Mary.
Mm.
We're probably going to go see that this
We're
weekend.
supposed to have a copy here in the building, but we haven't been able to find it. So
Of the
I have a
book?
feeling somebody really, really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny because my daughter was reading the book and she's all like, "I want to read the book before we see the movie." And so I saw her today at lunch and she was like, "Okay, I just finished it, so now we
Mm.
can go see the movie." So we're probably doing that this weekend. All right. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about what you're reading or watching or playing before we go on to other stuff?
I recently watched the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue, and now I'm reading the book.
Oh, okay.
Not familiar with that one.
I
Another gay romance.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
like I know that that exists, but I have not read it or watched it. We I was trying to remember if we have a copy of that on the shelf here or not. I'll have to double check. Okay, so Sam, would you like to talk about what you are actually doing, what that job title that you have means and how it affects your day-to-day life? Or would you rather talk about something completely different than that?
I can talk about it for a little bit. So, essentially, my job description is to deal with the front-facing content that people see when they interact with the library on like social media and the website. Um, but like relatively small stuff, like what the copy says,
Hmm.
or the size of the font, just like how it looks and what that content is, and so on and so forth. I'm supposed to control. This is only my third week here, but I'm going to control what people see.
Hmm. Okay.
And that's pretty much it. I've been posting on the social media, so if anyone here watching has seen the posts that have been posted on the Moffat Instagram and Facebook, that was me, at least for the past 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Um,
Hmm.
that's pretty much it, though.
I think one of the main jobs we're going to have you do, at least at the beginning, is just present a standard format for anything we put online, basically, is going to be the
Hmm.
main.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making uh like a specimen sheet of specifically for the Moffett Library, but it's
Mm.
gonna be similar to what we have here at MSU. There's like standards that that MSU
Yeah.
has for like the font, the colors, obviously, and
And
all
Julie
that
Gaynor's
stuff.
department's in charge of that, so you can always go to their website to see stuff, simple stuff like what font types you're supposed to be
Yeah,
using,
I
what
found
size they're
everything.
supposed to be. Yeah.
Um, but I'm making one specifically for like the tone of the library because being a librarian, being a place where students can come and students can find research and have a space to study, we have to be a little bit more informative and like welcoming
Mm.
uh, than say, I don't know, the history department or something along those lines because we have resources that students need um, can access, and we want to allow them and invite them to access them. And
I will
by
point out about
appearing
half
of
the people who work
inviting,
here have history degrees, so that went over well. No. Kidding.
whoops, sorry.
Oh well.
Oh well, damage done.
That's a joke. We know that the reason a lot of us are working here in the library is because you can't actually get a degree with it. Can't do anything with a history degree for the most part.
Hey man, I got an English minor.
I gotcha.
I got an art major and an English minor, and considering the state of AI right now,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I would rather not talk about that.
Well, if we do talk about it, they'll just scrub it from the internet because, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do a workshop later this year on it, and they put me and Joe in charge of it. And I'm kind of like, we're the last two people you want to talk about AI, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Ash would be a great person to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna rely heavily upon Ash um, to help with it. And again, as I mentioned, one of the problems, of course, is that every department here on campus, and I don't mean college, I mean department, every has a different policy as far as AI goes. And
Hmm.
I think this is a focus of the administration to try to standardize how the university treats AI. And the only problem is I'm kind of like, yeah, but we kind of need that done before we do our workshop, not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, and it's a thing that we've had the discussion about where it actually makes sense that the different colleges and different departments on our campus have somewhat different ideas and policies about it because it affects them to varying degrees. Um, the degrees there was not a college pun, sorry. But yeah, the I mean, I know that there is some AI usage in literally every field at this point, but I feel like it has less effect on the music department than it does on maybe the business department.
Um,
But I mean,
I
yeah.
will point out that we're getting to the point now where a lot of the stuff that's in the top 10 of best songs is being written by AIs and not humans anymore. I hate to say that.
Well, that's okay because the voting for the top 10 is also done by the AIs. And so, of course, they're going to vote for themselves. Um, yeah, it's,
But you're saying at some point there's just going to be this parallel culture
yeah,
that's all AI that has nothing to do with the rest of us.
yes.
Okay.
I, I, I mean, it is a thing where it's like, well, and I've talked about this too, is like there's, in the 1980s movie Real Genius, the thing where the kid comes into the lab, his classroom, and there's bunches of students and a professor, but he comes back the next time, and some of the students have been replaced by tape recorders. And he comes back the next time, and more of the students have been replaced by tape recorders. And finally, he comes in, and all of the seats just have tape recorders sitting at them. And at the front of the hall, there's a tape recorder that the professor has put there where he's playing,
His
his thing,
lecture.
his lecture. And I have what I feel like is a relatively realistic fear that that can easily happen with education, with so many courses happening online. It's would be relatively easy to have students send in, AI seat fillers to take notes of a class and you know, to have an AI spew out a lecture would be relatively easy also.
That's why handwriting is the way to go. I
Hmm.
considered being an English teacher at a certain point,
Hmm.
and when AI started coming around, I thought, well, I would just make them write by hand. I would just make my students write by hand. No phones, no computers,
Yeah.
Oh, come
just
on, be
hand.
more inventive. Make them write by quill. I mean, you
Oh
want to
yeah.
talk about a dying art form. There you go.
Or ask them an oral question and have them respond orally at that time,
Yeah.
you know. Um, yeah. In an electronics free zone, do you know the answer to this question?
Yeah.
There is a thing that is, and it's sort of the counter argument to that, which is a lot of times, depending on what your work field is, if your boss comes to you and goes, "Hey, I need you to do this," and you say, "Of course, I will do this," even though you have no idea how to do this, then you go and look it up. And you may look it up in a variety of different ways, in a catalog, in a book, online, and then you figure out how to do this, and you do this, and your boss goes, "Amazing! So I'm so glad that you did this. Thank you for doing it." But that's the way that life works. So to tell people that they're not allowed to, take an exam with a book or something is in some ways unrealistic as far as the way that their actual life will go.
Hmm.
I'll give you an example. My dad was a professional mathematician for most of his life, and he needed a calculator. He couldn't add and subtract or multiply in his head to save his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's eventually just gonna be a tool that is utilized in almost every aspect of life, and it's either a matter of it stopping, like the industry just grinding to a halt, or just absolute acceptance. Because I do know that Disney recently like pulled out of their deal with some AI company. I forget, I think it was OpenAI.
Hmm.
Um, they pulled out of that. There are um some places that are just they're just running out of information to teach their AI.
Hmm.
Uh, so either the bubble will pop or it'll just keep on expanding. I don't know. I'm not looking for, I'm
I
It's going to pop at some time.
Yeah.
yeah.
The high tech companies keep pouring more and more money into it. At some point, it's going to have to turn a profit. I mean, I saw this. It's very similar to the dot-com bubble that formed around 25 years ago, where all these companies were throwing this idea into the internet. It's going to be great. We're going to throw money at it. What does it do? We don't know yet, but it's going to be fantastic. And then
Hmm.
at some point, they said, "Oh, people are going to have to pay for this," and then suddenly it all kind of
Yeah.
fell apart.
Yeah, that's eventually I want to put out like a poll to see how um MSU students feel about AI being utilized in the library in particular. Um,
Hmm.
so that's something that I eventually want to do. Um,
Like I said, Joe and I have to do a workshop mostly
yeah.
for faculty. If we could coordinate that with you at some point, that'd be really good, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Collaboration is probably a good idea on something like that.
And the problem is that what we're really seeing is it's really the growth pains. It's knowing, oh, we're going to have to completely redo the way we teach and the way that we test, and we don't know how to do that yet, I think is the big problem. There hasn't been a standardization of how we can do this to make sure that we're still teaching people stuff and they're not relying, they're using the AI as a tool rather than a replacement for what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
When
And
is
I,
this again?
We don't know.
yeah.
The workshop.
Oh, the
We don't know.
workshop. It hasn't been put on the calendar yet.
Yeah.
It's a thing that
It doesn't
we're
exist yet.
no, it is it is one of the things that we were supposed to be working on to have ready for the fall, I believe is the way it's
Mm.
supposed to go. So, preliminary stages now, work on it more during the summer, bounce it around, throw it
Okay.
down, step on it, put it out on a stretcher,
Yeah.
and get it into the shape we actually want it to be. But yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, I mean, in a little bit in the way that, we know Halloween is going to come. Well, we know this workshop is going to come, and we can, start talking about what we're doing, but, the
Yeah.
deadline has not arrived.
Yeah, I was just curious.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
No, it's something that, generally speaking, I don't tend to throw anything onto the calendar until all the bugs have been worked out, until I know this is exactly what we're going to be talking about, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. Then I put it on the calendar because, again, the calendar usually is a more permanent type thing, and it causes some problems if you have to drop things or rearrange things because it's in the calendar. So generally, I don't put anything in the calendar until I'm ready to do it almost that day, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because more often than not, stuff will happen, and the people say, "Well, you have to do this a week earlier, or you have to do this a week later, or we can't do it at this time." And so I always make sure that, whenever I put something in the calendar, I'm like, I could do it today if I had to.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Sam, before you came to MSU, uh, did could wow, I decided mid-track that I was going to ask a different question.
Go
Um,
ahead.
the Obviously you're here now. Do you have any life goals that are separate from your job at MSU, about an accomplishment you'd like to do, a place you'd like to go, anything like that?
That is
See,
actually,
because
yeah.
I don't want to ask you where do you see yourself in 5 years, and you do the thing where you say, actually, I see myself working someplace else, somewhere else. We don't want you to have that conversation, but just like general life goals, kind of a thing. Do you have a vision for your future?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have mentioned it when in my introductory post on Instagram and Facebook that I'm a printmaker.
Mhm.
When I went to school, I got a minor in English. I also got an accidental minor in printmaking because I took so many printmaking courses that they called me up and they were like, "Hey, do you want to minor in printmaking? Because you have enough hours. We can put on your diploma printmaking or whatever." And I said, sure, I guess I have a printmaking minor. Um, but when 2026 came around, I had a goal of making 2 prints a month.
Mhm.
Haven't gotten around to doing that, unfortunately. Um, but a big goal of mine over the course of the next 5 years is to facilitate the growth of the printmaking community within Wichita Falls outside of MSU in particular. Because there are printmaking courses at MSU, and I've seen a lot of printmaking at the Museum of Art,
Mhm.
but there are other arts resources here in Wichita Falls that I haven't really seen much printmaking. be involved in. I used to work at the Arts Council in Wichita Falls as well. I think yeah, I worked there last summer. I worked there last year, and I am still currently, I then and now I am teaching courses there at the Arts Council, printmaking courses in particular, which I'm very excited about. I love printmaking so bad. I love printmaking so much. But yes, facilitating the growth of the printmaking community because in when I went to UNT in Denton, um that area, the North Texas area is not really doesn't really pop when it comes to printmaking.
Mm.
I went to the Print Austin Expo. There's an exposition. Is that what they're short for?
Expo, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There was the expo in Austin. Me and my partner drove all the way down there just to go to the expo.
Mhm.
Um, and at Austin, there's a great arts community and there's a great printmaking community there. Um, so I want to be the little seedling that grows a nice little printmaking plant. I want to see what happens because we do have screen printers. We have like three different screen printing businesses that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
Um, but that's pretty much it. I mean, we have manufacturing plants that have like offset printing and stuff and uh aluminum lithographic printing, but that's very large scale. The individual person doesn't sit at home and do dry point or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, but there are a lot of artists, there are a lot of talented artists here in Wichita Falls, and I'm not a snob, but I kind of am at the same time. That's the thing about printmakers. We're elitist, we're snobbish, we're classist. No, I'm kidding. Um, we are not that. But printmaking, in terms of like the arts community, there's like tiers, quote unquote. There's tiers of the popularity of that medium and how well it's respected
Mhm.
to both professional artists and also non-professional, non-artists. Uh, Painting and photography are up there. Like those are the ones that are the most accessible and are the most popular. And when someone says, I'm an artist, you usually think of illustrations, paintings with acrylics or oils, maybe not actually oils, acrylics mostly.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's just drawing, just illustrative drawing. Um, Digital drawing is, I would say, more popular, but a little bit less respected, quote unquote,
Mhm.
um, because it's seen as like cheating. And then printmaking. There's probably some other, oh, sculpture. Sculpture, I would say, is above printmaking. Jewelry, I would consider an art because that's usually they teach, we teach jewelry in the arts college. Um, where was I going with this? Oh, because printmaking is a method of art where you create, usually the point of printmaking is to create multiple originals. Do you kind of understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mhm.
So instead of making a drawing and just having the one drawing, I can prepare a matrix, a, a surface where the image gets created, and I can do this process that replicates this image over and over and over again. So I can have multiples, but all of them are original. Um, but it's a really accessible way to create multiples of arts without needing an expensive printer, although printers are pretty accessible and they're cheaper now than they used to be for making ink, or not for making ink, printing ink, not so much. Um, and the process itself has a bit of a learning curve,
Mhm.
but printmaking was the first step in like technology. The printing press, its invention, revolutionary. Absolutely revolutionary for the spread of information. Um, so I just think printmaking is a accessible way to spread information and to spread art without needing digital anything.
And there's more to it than that. I mean, you're
Mhm.
talking about a matrix, but one of the things you can always do too is you can change up color, you could have a few other components in it that creates variations of a theme type of thing. So yeah, there is. I think people a lot of times think even with the mass production of it, people think, oh, they're just copying the same thing over and over again. But there is variation in that as well. There's the whole just you can go with different colors. You can go with
You can
a
reduce,
primary
yeah.
scene and then secondary components to it that differ.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Excuse
different,
me 1 second, the alarms are going off.
uh-oh.
Yeah, that is a thing that happens. This is a thing that happens occasionally with our podcast
Warning probably.
because we are actually in a library that's an actual functioning library, and sometimes we get called away.
Storm Light, is that what
Um,
it was though?
I know Ryan has had people actually knock on his door in the middle of the podcast,
That's
or
funny.
try to call him on the phone, or occasionally the alarms go off. Uh, and if if we were a
There
if
is apparently a very large storm headed this way.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
I knew there was rain in the forecast and stuff for this
That
afternoon.
was the weather alarm going off.
Oh, okay.
It does. Well, you're not where I'm at, next to
Yeah.
the circulation desk. It goes off anytime a big storm, anytime the National Weather Service puts out a warning,
Mm,
a major warning, not like a fire warning but if they think there's going to be a possibility of a tornado watch, for example, will always set it off. A high wind watch will sometimes set it off. So,
yeah. Okay.
and that's how the sausage is made here at the university. Oh, while we're here, let's do a little more sausage stuff because this is a learning moment. Sam, if a tornado ever comes to your campus, and if a tornado touches down and starts coming to campus, the safest place to be is the hallway just outside of your office.
Oh yeah.
Outside of tech services, the hallway between the main part of the building and the back entrance is the safest place to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because it's not actually an exterior wall and there's no windows.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also compact. It's got,
Yeah.
multiple support columns for the roof.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if a tornado comes and we're in the library, that's where we'll gather.
And the reason I'm bringing this up as well is because you may not be aware of this fact, but my first day on the job here, um, I went and I was talking to the director, a woman named Melba Harville, who was the director at that time, and sitting on her desk was a picture of a tornado going through downtown Wichita Falls, and I just looked at it and went, "When was that?" And there was an argument over which of the three different times in the last 30 years a tornado has gone through downtown Wichita Falls and which one it could be.
Hmm.
And I suddenly went, I may have moved to the wrong town.
I have not. I've lived here uh not very long, but never experienced a tornado so far.
I haven't either, just tell you the absolute truth. But tornado warnings and tornado watches will occur
Hmm.
very
Very
frequently.
frequently. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, what was 79? Was that an F5 or an F4?
I was thinking four.
Okay. There within living memory, there was a major um, national disaster that hit Wichita Falls.
Within our living memory.
Okay. And I guess I could talk about the time that we changed our mascot and the students voted for the tornadoes and the president had said people died. No, we are not calling this our mascot the tornado.
Yeah, that's a little messed up.
Yeah. I having our mascot be Mustangs is okay. That's fine. I had other ideas in mind for our mascot. Um, I used to uh, own an MSU sweatshirt that had the previous mascot name on it, because when my wife and I got our degrees, finished up our bachelor's degrees, um, I graduated a semester before her and graduated under the previous mascot, and then she graduated under the current one. So
I think we've confused Sam. Um,
that's okay.
the previous term was a term they used for Native Americans.
Hmm.
That was the previous mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we'd been called the tornadoes, there would have been people calling the university up to have words with us. In fact, there was a librarian here who her house collapsed on her. So anytime there was, like for instance, that weather alert that just went on, she'd be going home right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that got dark.
A little.
It's
Hey,
because
I
of
could make it darker.
it's because of the clouds coming in. It just makes it darker. The
Joe knows why I could make it darker.
You don't want to do that, Sam.
No. No.
No.
It's just something um when I talked to my mom about being on a podcast, she was like, I remember when I had a used to have a podcast
Mhm.
about what I'm talking about,
Uh,
and she would interview other people about it. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, you could bring that up." And I was like, "I don't think I will." But here I am bringing it up.
that's okay. You just sort of touched it, and we're just going to move
We're gonna
on.
go right
We're just
past it.
yeah,
If you're
And people
curious,
have stuff in
don't
their
worry about it.
heads that they'll
yeah,
they'll just
yeah. Whatever
put
you
in that
think it
place.
is, you're wrong. It's fine.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How about brushes with greatness? Have you ever met a celebrity of any kind or type?
I've done this with you, Joe, but I can do this with Sam because Sam doesn't know.
Uh,
I'm going to do two truths and a lie. Try to pick out the lie. Right? I have sung a song with a Grammy award-winning artist. I have done research for a Nobel Prize winning scientist. I have co-authored a work with a Pulitzer Prize winning author. Two of those are true.
The last two.
You are correct. The last two are correct.
I was gonna say nerdy enough.
Well, see, I can always make the argument with the first one saying, I went to a mega church.
Mhm.
We sang hymns, but no, the in college, my chemistry professor was a Nobel Prize winning chemist or physicist actually, and we did research for his book. Basically, we
Nice.
were the test subjects for his new textbook, and then Larry McMurtry helped write one of the chapters of the little handout for special collections here in the building, and I wrote a chapter in it as well. I actually never met Larry McMurtry. I've never so forth. But if you go to the OCLC mark record for the Nola Moore Heritage of Print booklet, I am I am listed as a co-author with Larry McMurtry. So there you go.
I have not met a celebrity. The closest that I have gone to is I went to a Smash Mouth concert when I was a kid.
Hmm. Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Th- Celebrity has gotten so big and so broad, and honestly, a lot of celebrities either live in Texas or at least come through Texas.
There's no
So
one pursuit.
yeah, the chance of meeting somebody it's above 0%,
Hmm.
that you could run into somebody. Um,
I believe
just
Hightower is from here as well.
mm, yeah,
Ronald Reagan, I forget which one of his cabinet members.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, there's a few actors, actresses, musicians that are from Texas. So,
Athletes, yeah.
yeah, athletes too, if you want to count them, whatever.
I would say and athletes are celebrities. They can be.
Yeah, but not Joe
No,
doesn't think they should be.
no,
Oh yeah.
yeah. It's one of the careers that should not exist. You should not have a career as an athlete. You should also not have a career as a politician, but but
What, you think it should be a side gig?
I
No,
think
he
that
thinks they should be drafted, right?
well,
That's what.
well, I think that for politicians, actually, yes.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
But athletes, no. I think that when you are in grade school, it's a good idea to have team athletic sports because it encourages teamwork, cooperation, healthy competition. And then beyond grade school, that kind of athleticism shouldn't exist. You can have it in your personal life as, just an exercise thing that you do, and if you want to have some kind of just for fun, you know, bowling league or baseball team that, meets once a month during the summer or whatever, sure. But no one should be paid any kind of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to throw a ball or anything like that. No. Professional athletes should not exist. And professional politicians should also not exist. It should not be a career. It was never designed to be a career. It's supposed to be an act of public service. And in general, public servants don't make any money. Just ask a school teacher.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but my dad, who, by the way, went to college on an athletic scholarship,
Uh,
thought that one of the things they could do, at least at the collegiate level, is in any competition, no coaches are allowed anywhere near the field.
mm,
The idea is it's like a test. It's to see if you as an athlete have learned not only the physical aspects of it, but all of the strategic and rule knowledge and all those other aspects of the sport as well, which I thought was interesting. It'll never happen, but I thought it was an interesting
yeah,
um, way of being a more valid academic endeavor. Let me put it that way.
yeah. That would make it more academically focused, and more focused on the students and their actual ability. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've been talking for a minute, or 55 or so. Um, do we have anything else that we want to make sure that we talk about before we wind down and talk about community events?
I feel like I've dominated the conversation here a little. I'm sorry about that if I have.
Don't care.
Okay.
The I used to feed the podcast transcript into a program that actually let me know the percentage of time that each speaker took. But we stopped using that software, I think, more than a year ago. So now
Mhm.
I actually have no way of knowing. who spoke the most in any podcast.
Hmm.
It just all seems the same to me. I just assume we all talked an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to mention a few things that are happening in our neck of the woods uh, nowish. The Wichita Falls Museum of Art at MSU Texas, or WFMA for short, actually has a whole bunch of things going on this month. I'm going to mention a couple of them specifically. One is that they are hosting a gesture drawing practice Tuesday, April 7th from 5:30 to 7. Another thing that's just happening around campus is every Wednesday afternoon through the end of the semester, I, myself, or some other member of the library staff will be in the TASP Learning Center offering tutoring assistance in database research, access methodology, and accountability. So come for the drama. On Thursday, April 9th, the WFMA is hosting Art of Mindfulness from 5:30 to 7. Later that evening at 7:30, the Midwestern Singers Spring Concert will be presented in Aiken Auditorium. Downtown, the Wichita Theater is doing production of The Music Man. They have several showings this month. The Creature Teacher is returning to the Riverbend Nature Center on April 22nd and 23rd. And the third annual Dia del Nino, that's Day of the Child, will be celebrated at the WFMA on April 30th from 5:30 to 7:30. There will be educational activities for the kids, prizes, and much, much more. For more information about these things that I mentioned today and other local activities, check out the events section of the MSU Texas homepage and the calendar at discoverwichitafalls.com/events. And then if you have an event you'd like us to announce, or if you have any comments or questions or suggestions for any or all of us, please send an email to library@msutexas.edu. Okay, so that's some stuff happening in the next few weeks here in our area. Okay, any final comments, words of wisdom, bon mot? No? Okay. All right. Well, then that's going to wrap it up for us for this timer. And one or two or three or some of us will see you at another point in time. Until then, may the good news be yours.